Jose's here.
Yep.
What's up, Jose?
Not much.
That's good. We'll wait a few minutes, see who else shows up.
All right.
Nyla's here. Bonnie is here. This is good.
Good morning.
Good morning, Hania. Haley's here. Get one more, we'll get started. If not, I'll wait a few minutes. There's number 5. All right, we'll get started. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good.
I'm good.
That's good. Let's see. In the email I sent, you guys saw I like copied and pasted some stuff from College Board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, just keep that close by in case there's any issues you have logging in today. Like I said, that's the thing I've been most worried about is the whole login process. I know one of you guys brought up last week about other classes not being able to submit theirs. And like I was guessing, they might have had bugs to work out because, like I said, they've never had like millions of people try to take these things at the same time online. And so I think they tried to come up with a workaround for it that I put in your email. If you try to submit and it's comes up with some kind of error message that it doesn't pop up, they're going to give you an email address to use. And then you would attach your Google Doc or whatever thing you typed up. Or I guess you could still take pictures of it if you want to and make those as like JPEG attachments. And then send it straight to that email address that they give you. So that's their workaround that they came up with. Let's see. Have any of you guys logged into your account over the last day or so?
Yeah.
Have either of you guys gotten the little ticket to log into the exam? Did that
Yeah.
show? Okay, good. All right. So it sounds like that's going to work out okay. Do any of you guys have questions about anything else?
In your email, you said the exam would start at 12:30. I thought it started at 1:30 because we took it at 2.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is. I put 12:30. That's my fault. Yeah, so you guys should start logging in at 1:30, so you're there in time for 2. Yeah, but we won't have an afternoon meeting because I don't want us to be online talking at 1 when you guys should be getting your stuff ready for the exam. So that's what I meant to say. I put 12:30 instead of 1:30, so that's my fault. You're right.
Okay.
I'm looking at something else real quick. Somebody had a thing about. Okay, we're good. Yeah, there's still, like I said, next week is the 28th, which is the last day of school. I think all of you guys are. Yeah, I don't have any seniors in here today. If any of you guys communicate with Zaivia or Kate, just let them know that they should drop their books off next Tuesday, preferably. And everybody else, they want you guys to turn in your books and stuff next week, a week from today. So, make sure you bring all 3 of your books. Make sure, if you got any papers folded up inside to take them out. If you forget, I'm just going to throw them away. But yeah, because, the AP class that's coming behind you is going to need those. And you don't want anyone chasing you down for them, for sure. So that's pretty much what I've got. I know some of you guys have done the AP practice things that I sent out on Google Forms. I know some people have had issues looking at the comments that I left. So if you did those and you want the comments and you can't read them, let me know. And what I've done for others who have let me know that is I've taken pictures of the comments and I've emailed them that way. So I can do that over the next couple of hours if you want to. The only other thing I would suggest, I've had some people do the practice assignments on Google, and they've said, I've got 10 minutes left. I don't know what else to do. Remember, one of the things I suggest is for the exam, have one of your good, your better DBQs that you've gotten next to you. So if you've got like 10 minutes left and you're like, man, I can't come up with contextualization or historical complexity, but you got it in one of your other ones, you can say, okay, now I see how to do it. Can I come up with a way to work it into this prompt? So that's something you can do on the exam, and it's totally cool to do that. So like I said, use that if you got the time left over. Don't use it as a crutch, but use it as like a backup if you have time left over, if you've got points that you're trying to figure out how to come up with, and you'll have that available. And I would have that in the rubric next to you, both of those things for the exam. So you know what points you're trying to rack up. Remember, they've weighted the documents more. You can get 2 points for using the documents. You can also get 2 points for sourcing the documents. And you can also get 2 points for using multiple examples of outside information. So that's 6 out of 10 right there. And if you get 6 out of 10, they're probably going to give you a 3 on the exam. If you can get those things, plus a good introduction paragraph that's got a thesis and blueprint sentences that match, now you got 8 out of 10, and that's going to be a 4 or a 5. And if you get and if you get a good intro, that gives you some breathing room on sourcing documents or coming up with outside info. So I think they've come up with a good number of ways for you to get a 3, as long as you don't push the panic button. You've practiced, you've watched the YouTube videos, you've got, some good sources sitting next to you, like I talked about during the exam, and you don't have your little brother eating up your bandwidth watching Netflix videos. You'll be all right. So, does anyone else have anything?
Is that
Not
like
really.
all the stuff you recommend?
Say again, Nyla. I couldn't really hear you.
Like, is that all the tips you would recommend?
Yeah, if you've been watching the YouTube videos, if you've been doing the practice assignments, if you've been studying your DBQs that you've already done, you should be in pretty good shape. You should have a decent opportunity to get a 3. And I'm looking at who's here with us today, and just about everybody who's in here has written at least one decent DBQ. So everybody in here, I think, has a chance to get a 3. And there's about half of you guys, maybe a little more than half, who have a decent chance to even get a 4 or a 5 if they hit all the points pretty good. So, go in, kind of psych yourself up, maybe play some music that gets you in a good mood or something, about an hour before the exam, and just go to town. I know some people work good with music going on, and if you can use that, like if you are typing it up on, if you're one of those people, okay, I'm not saying everybody is, but if you are, if you're typing this out on a laptop and you got a phone, turn off the Wi-Fi and then, just use the data on the phone and then plug in some headphones and, listen to like a playlist or something, for some people that might help, kind of, dial them in mentally. So that's something else that might work for some of you guys. I don't know. Anything else, guys?
In your email says that it starts at 12:30. Does it? I thought it started at 1.
Yeah. I messed that up earlier. I told the people when I first came in. The exam's at 2. I put 12:30 because I was thinking I didn't want you guys, waiting for me to show up for a 1 o'clock class because I want you guys getting ready for your exam. You should be logging into your AP exam at 1:30, so it's ready to go at 2 o'clock. So I messed that up. It's 1:30, not 12:30, and I'll send another email out to straighten that out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So do you have any other tips?
That's pretty much what I got. Like I said, if you've been doing the YouTube stuff, doing the practice DBQs, it's pretty late to do them now. So if you haven't done them, then I wouldn't worry about them because, like I said, it's going to be kind of late for that to be turned around back to you. But if you've done the practice stuff, done the YouTube videos, study your DBQ stuff that I've already graded for you. Those are probably the 3 best things to be using. And then what I would have sitting next to your device during the exam is a copy of the rubric for 2020, and then the best DBQ that you've written, printed out, and with the feedback on it sitting next to you. So if you're trying to say, well, and check off each part of the rubric as you go, that's probably something else I would do. And so if you checked everything off that you typed and you're like, well, I'm missing this stuff here, then, and you see that you have 10 minutes left to go, then you can start looking at the other DBQs that you've done and like, okay, this is how I figured out how to do contextualization in this one. How can I make it work for this prompt that I'm typing up now? And, you've got some time to work it in there. Remember, when the numbers turn from black to red, that's your submission window. So when you see the numbers turn from black to red, that's your 5-minute countdown. Don't keep typing. Just stop wherever you're at. Okay. And then start your submission process, because if you keep typing and then you try to submit it with like 15 seconds to go and it doesn't go through, then it's just going to wipe everything out and they're not going to let you do a makeup exam next month. They're just going to say, well, hey, that was on you. So go ahead and do the submission when the numbers turn red, and be patient with it. Make sure nobody's on anything. If anybody's got a phone, make sure the Wi-Fi is off. If you got a smart TV, turn the Wi-Fi off of that. Don't let anyone use anything else. You need 100% of the bandwidth for about an hour or so. And then let everyone know. I do this with my wife when she's off work and I'm doing video stuff. She's not using anything with the internet. And then when I'm done, I say, okay, I'm done with the online class, and she can do what she wants to do. It's got to be the same thing with you guys with this exam. But once that thing submits, and you get a page that says it's successfully submitted, you're done with the exam, you're good to go. If it doesn't do it, then that error message should pop up, and then after the error message pops up, it should give you a specific email address. Like, Hania's could be like, AP College Board 1A7BC675 or something. And then Nyla's would be 673. So, it would be unique to everybody taking the exam. And so you would click on that, and then you would attach your Google Doc or your pictures from your phone or however you're doing this.
Okay. I was watching a few YouTube videos on like AP stuff.
Yeah.
And I know I was watching this one dude who said like you didn't really like you could kind of get all this information in 3 paragraphs.
Mm-hmm.
And like, do you suggest that, or do you like how many do you think that we need?
Well, you could, because if you do the intro right, you're going to have your thesis, you're going to have your blueprint sentences, which will tie into the other 2 paragraphs. And then you can work in, I think, I'm trying to remember. Somebody asked me last night, I think it might have been Jose or somebody, I can't remember, asked, you can get your contextualization at the end of the intro. Like if it's about, the Atlantic slave trade, you can write about, you can answer the prompt, that's your thesis. You have your blueprint sentences, and then your contextualization could be, the African slave trade was part of the worldwide trend of humans enslaving humans. That's your contextualization. And then you could go further with that with historical complexity in the same paragraph. Like you could say, for example, the Arabs enslaved Africans to sell to South Asia. That's synthesis, that's historical complexity. So all of that stuff you could get in paragraph 1, but you got to set it up right. And a lot of kids mess up setting it up right, which is why, I kind of have you guys put it in the conclusion. But you can do it in the intro if you set it up right. If you set up the intro right, then your blueprint sentences could tie into paragraph 2, paragraph 3, and if paragraphs 2 and 3 use all the documents and source as many as you can, and they, all that kind of stuff, then you could hit all 10 points of the rubric in 3 paragraphs. It's not easy to do, but it can be done. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. I know Amy has popped in. Amy, I know you were asking me about logging in last night. Were you able to log into AP Classroom? Amy? Yes, no?
I was able to.
Okay, so were you able to get your login ticket for the exam today?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good, because that's the number one thing I've been worrying about with people is, are they able to log into the exam today? I'm trying to think. I know Aiden said he had some trouble earlier, but then he said he was able to get it to work. Yeah, like I said, I think we should be good to go for today, since you guys can log in. And you guys, I've asked you guys before, and you guys said you haven't found anybody who's had trouble logging in. So I think we're as good to go as we can. Let me check something else real quick while we're here. Do I have anybody here who's not where they need to be grade-wise? No. Okay. Everybody here is passing the class. There are 3 people who are not here who are not passing the class. and I can't tell you who they are because then I could get in trouble for it. But if you have hundreds for quarter four, that's going to bring your grade up. And I think we've talked about before, haven't we, that semester one grade that you got in December is the lowest grade you can get. Have I talked about that with y'all before?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then next Tuesday, I think, or maybe Wednesday, I'm not sure which day, I'm supposed to have an online chat like this with our grade book keeper in our school, and we're supposed to find out more about how the quarter three, quarter four situation goes for the year-long classes. When I find out that information, I will let you know. But just so I let you guys know, let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people who have hundreds for the fourth quarter. And so that means there are several of you here, who don't have hundreds. If you still have time, don't do it today because I want you to worry about the exam today. But like tomorrow and over the weekend, look at the grade book for quarter four. If you've got any missing assignments for quarter four, Friday or this weekend, try to get those done if you think it'll help your grade out, and turn them in, and I can still put them in the grade book. Next week it's going to be really dicey because they're going to have meetings at school. I'm going to be checking in books. I'm going to be like doing stuff they want me to do for the yearbook, and I'm going to be having meetings to pick up things and do grades and all this stuff. So if you do anything next week as far as assignments go, it might not get posted. So if you've got missing assignments for quarter four and you want them posted, they need to be done either tomorrow or over the weekend. Like I said, don't do it today. What I want you guys to focus on is to, psych yourself up and get prepared, infrastructure wise and materials wise for the exam. That's your number one priority today. Because, like I said, if you get a 3, 4, or a 5, you're getting college credit for the class, and that's going to save you time and money when you all get to college. So that's a big plus. All right.
Do you have any from our entire unit that we've been studying? Do you have anything that you think might be really important to know, or that we should study?
Like materials wise?
Yeah.
Trying to think. Well, I mean, all I can tell you is the exam can have a prompt on anything they want to cover from 1200 to 1900. So, they could do industrialization, they could do imperialism, they can do, the Enlightenment and the revolutions that came out of it, the American, the Haitian, the French. But they've done that not so long ago. I don't think they would do one on the revolutions. They could do something on the Mongols going wild. They could do, Age of Exploration. They could do feudalism, comparing Japanese and European feudalism. I could see something on that. They could do something on the different cultures in South Asia. I mean, it could be all kinds of different things. So there's not one area I could really tell you to zoom in on, except that it's going to cover anything up to 1900. Remember that if you know stuff related to the prompt that comes after 1900, like if you can do synthesis, like you compare, maybe it's about a war, let's say, and you can compare whatever war they're talking about to a war in the 20th century, if you can tie those together, you can still get the historical complexity part, even though it comes after 1900. And the same thing goes with outside info, contextualization, but the prompt itself is going to be before 1900. And the College Board did that because they know that a lot of us weren't in the classroom to finish that part, and they don't want that to be a way to punish people for not finishing the curriculum. That's pretty much all I can really tell you. They haven't given me any hints or anything. They never do, and I don't think they ever would. So that's what I got.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you know, like how they say they're gonna give our teachers our DBQs. Like, are you gonna grade them and like predict our grade?
No, they're not going to let us grade them. Basically, what it's going to be is they're going to let us look at the DBQs after they grade them. And basically, it's like, let's say I have somebody who has gotten, is like, a normal DBQ's out of 7 points. Let's say I have a student who's always gotten like 4s, 5s, and 6s on their DBQs. And this person's DBQ that they take on their exam today, they get like 2 points out of 10. And I'm like, damn, how the hell did this person get 2 points out of 10? They always do good on their DBQs. Then I can look it over and I can say, well, I don't think this student was graded fairly. I think you should reconsider whatever. And they might take that into account and they might rescore it. That's pretty much how that works.
Okay.
But if you're somebody who's like gotten like 4 or 5 points once, and you've gotten like 1 and 2 points on all the other DBQs, and you get like 1 or 2 points today, and I get that back, then I probably wouldn't turn that in because I'm like, well, this person usually doesn't do very well, and this is kind of what they normally would do. What they're worried about is a student getting thrown off today because, 1, they've messed with the rubric. 2, they've messed with the time that they're giving you to take the exam. Instead of an hour, they're only giving you 45 minutes. And they're worried, and you got the internet issues. So they're worried that those 3 things could come together and screw up somebody who usually does well on a DBQ where they do not so well. So they're a little bit worried about that. And so they're going to give those back to us and let us appeal those if they meet all the things that I talked about.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
I have a question too. So to say, like, if you're like 5 minutes, like they turn in the test and you can't turn it in, can you like reset the page and try to send it again, or like will that like not let
Yeah,
you?
I think one of the things they sent out is do not do the refresh button or hit the back button. One of the things they also said is if you've got a Grammarly app or a Grammarly plugin on your device, they want you to disable that because I think they said there's something that's screwing up the thing when you do that. But if you click the thing and it's spinning, they said it might take a while for it to go through, but they said let it do its thing, and if it doesn't submit, that error message should pop up. And if the error message pops up, there should be an email address that goes with that link. And if that happens, then you would just go ahead and submit your exam through the link that they give you. And if all else fails, then you should be able to take the makeup exam in June, but that's not the ideal time to do that, because the longer it goes, the harder it's going to be to remember stuff. So, give this the best effort you can. Make sure that nobody's screwing with your bandwidth. If you've got neighbors screwing with your bandwidth because you don't have a password, I would set up a password. That's pretty much all that's coming in my head right now.
Thank you.
Yep. Anyone need anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, if we're good to go, then I wish you all the best of luck. If you can get a good, a good lunch to, give you some energy or whatever, go ahead and do that around noon or so, and be good to go at 1:30 so you can log in, get the thing going. Have your rubric next to you, have your best DBQ you've done in the class next to you. Just relax. Don't freak yourself out too much. Most of y'all are freshmen. Most of y'all have never taken an AP class before. So, don't let it get to you. There are lots of kids who have gotten 2s on an AP exam as freshmen, and they get 3s and 4s, as they get older, and that's perfectly fine. But, I think a lot of you guys can do it. In fact, I think all of you guys can do it. Some are closer than others, but I think all of you guys can do it. If you've prepared for it, and don't let the stress get to you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If nobody's got anything, I think we'll close this out. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all
Thank
take
you.
care. Yep, no problem. All right. Bye, guys.